Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Business Buddha podcast. On this episode, we have our special guest who just launched his brand new book, I Am an Introvert, Michael Teoh.
Yes.
So, Michael Teoh is a good friend of mine, and I got into corporate speaking because of him. Just to be clear, like, I always hated corporate. I always thought people were just slimy people. But then it was until Michael, he opened my eyes, he showed me the world of corporate training.
Thank you.
And that's why we should do corporate events and corporate trainings with a lot of big businesses, Great Eastern, all of that. So Michael here, he is a national youth icon.
Thank you.
Okay, took pictures with President Barack Obama. He is on the board of what's one of the boards you're on?
So I'm part of a board that belongs to SP Setia.
Yes,
one
SP
of our
Setia. It's a
largest,
big company here in Malaysia.
It's a big company. I'm part of a board member with their foundation. So we do a lot of good works in the developments that we are in.
Yeah, and you're also very in tune into a lot of political figures in Malaysia.
Well, they're just friends that I keep contacts with just because I love seeing our movements in terms of nation building here. And I do advise a few ministries and ministers on a personal capacity, just as friends. It's just one of those things that keep me sane aside from me running my business, because I'm quite a workaholic. I always focus on developing people through my business, but at the same time, it is still developing people in a different way through advisory, and I pick advising certain ministries,
Basically,
government
you're
initiatives.
the guy that stands on their shoulder and whisper, tell them to do good stuff instead of the bad stuff.
Well, I hope.
Okay, so let's jump straight to the point. You are an introvert. That is why you have your brand new book, I Am an Introvert, here.
Here you go.
Let's talk a bit about this.
Yes.
How the hell took pictures with Barack Obama, advised national politician figures, run national youth icon, young national youth icon,
Right.
run your own training business where you work with at least the top 10, top 50 biggest companies in Malaysia. You go in, you train their teams. And you are a speaker, a trainer, a TEDx talk speaker.
Yeah.
How can you call yourself an introvert?
You know, people have asked me before, David, they say, hey, Michael, let's be honest, this title you put there, you want to sell books only,
nobody believes.
Nobody believes.
Nobody believes.
Because, I mean, in our close circle, right, so many people message me that day, they're like, bro, don't do this lah. But honestly, I told them, I've always been an introvert. Did you know that every time when I do a training, especially when I deliver a keynote to hundreds and thousands of people, I need time to recharge. So I am what you would call a trained extrovert. But if you look back in my history, extroversion has been used by me as a strategy for me to combat a trauma that unfortunately I've had since I was young. And that trauma was being a victim of bully. If you go Google my name, rather fortunate or unfortunately, I don't know why Google like to rank those articles so high. You Google Michael Teoh, confirm the first page you will see. Not Michael Teoh, best speaker. Not Michael Teoh, met Obama. Not Michael Teoh, worked with 30% of the world's Fortune 500 companies across 42 countries. You Google Michael Teoh, first thing you'll see, victim of bully. Bully victim becoming successful entrepreneur.
Tell us more a bit about that. So what happened when you were young?
I was born and raised in a middle-income family in Seberang Perai, Penang. My parents and my grandparents, I grew up with them. They loved me so much, and they do their best to provide for me. During that time, I was in a government school. And this government school, I can tell you, it has a certain brand to it. It's a government school, it's not a private school, but our school has
It's like
produced...
a prestigious school?
Yes, because our school has produced 2 prime ministers so far.
Oh, are you going to be the third one?
Badawi. Oh, no. If I can contribute as an advisor in a way...
That would be enough already.
I think that would be enough, right?
Okay.
But we produced Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, the late Prime Minister, and PMX, Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, also came from my school.
Okay.
So my school has this reputation of producing leaders. But a dark secret that a lot of people don't know, and I think it happens in every school, is that if you're not careful, you can end up either being a bully or like me being a victim of bully. So I was bullied in school because they looked down on me. At that time, they would often ask me, hey, year end, December holiday, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Park Royal. Which Park Royal? I'm staying in Penang, right? Is it Park Royal KL, Park Royal Johor? Are you flying there? No, I'm just going across the Penang Bridge, staying for one night, family trip, Park Royal Hotel in Batu Fringhi, Penang. And my friends would look at me, why are you so poor? Can't you afford to go to Disneyland in Paris, Disneyland in Hong Kong?
So basically the bullying came from like looking down on you, on your wealth.
And
how did that make you feel? Like,
oh, even worse is this. Not only are they looking down on me based on my family status, but they also look down on me because I was weak in sports. I still am weak in sports, but I've come to live with it. But people look down at me that time, it's because they didn't want me in their sports team. Like, I'll be the last player that anyone would pick to join their football team and basketball team. I always make this joke, which is not a joke lah, David. It's a reality. If I play football, soccer, it's the ball kick me, not I kick the ball. If I play basketball, the basketball hit me once, I fainted, woke up 20 minutes later, and gave a shock to everyone. So you could see people just did not like hanging around with the not cool kid. And in the early 2000s, if you're not good in sports, if you're not of certain social economic class, you are seen as not so cool. And I tend to get isolated, alienated by my peers.
and was there any teacher, parents, or a friend who was there for you, or like nobody knew?
Nobody knew.
And you kept it all to yourself?
I kept it all to myself.
And then were you, like, recently in Malaysia, there was this Zara case, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and basically she's a victim of bullying, and then basically, right now they're still debating whether she took her life or somebody took her life. But, like, how do you see bullying affected you in childhood? Would you say because of the bullying, it drove you to become this overachiever that you are now? Or would it say the bullying was part of the process for you needed to become a leader? Or would it be like, I rather don't experience that and not be who I am now?
I don't know, man. When I agreed, and thanks to David for inviting me for this podcast, I promised myself I would not want to give a PR answer, public relations answer. If this was a seminar, I would have said, yeah, it's part of the process of us developing our resilience, blah, blah, blah. It's true, but I promised myself to give the deep-rooted, hard answers.
Yes, that's why we're here.
I don't know. Because you see, I was not bullied in like 2 to 3 years. I was bullied since I was 7 years old in primary school. And I thought the bullies would have left me because when I gone to high school, at the age of 13, they would have been gone. Nope, they followed me to high school, right? So because we were just neighbors, both of those schools were neighbors. And I was in a single-sex school when I was in primary school. The bullying was already happening there. And then when I went up to secondary school, we were in co-ed. So they are ladies now, they are girls now. Oh boy, they use me as a punching bag to show how macho they are, right? I was bullied. And my confidence was so low at that time. My self-esteem was so low. I can even tell you this. I tried to gain favors from friends. I offered to clean their shoes during recess time.
Just to gain favors.
Just to, hopefully they would play with me. My parents don't know all this. If my mom and dad watching this now, they'll be shocked. But so many years ago, right? Clean their shoes, do their homework for them, just so that they would give me attention. Because I can tell you, bullying, right? When you get beaten up, it's bad. But the worst form of bullying for me is isolation or alienization. And how do you know that? It's like when you go recess,
Nobody hangs out with you, nobody sits with you.
You are taking your food tray and you want to sit with them. They say, ada hantu kat sini. Siapa? Then they will leave you. And you're sitting there all by yourself. And then when you're playing sport, tug of war, soccer, basketball, no one wants you to be in their team.
And so my question to you is this: like, there are a lot of young people that also listen to our podcast, and bullying doesn't just happen when you're in school. It also happens
even in
the workplace, even in business. So I just want to go through your psychology, and when you were being bullied, like, I'm sure that the thought of taking your own life flirts in your mind. And a lot of young people, it flirts in their mind, but what makes you say, like, I'm not going to take my life? Like, you're still here, so.
The emotion that I felt being bullied, I thought I've conquered it at the age of 15, and there was a pivotal moment. But you're right, David. Over my years, even in corporate, even in my more mature relationships I have right now, there is still that feeling that I got bullied in different contexts, right? If you were to ask me, oh, how was my psychology at that time? You know, I kept telling people, oh, I'm very depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed. But when I really saw how a depressed person was like, oh, I refuse to use the word depressed anymore. I would say I'm very, very sad, that's all. Because depression is no joke, right? It's no joke. And I really salute all of you who are going through. If you have a diagnosed depression, go out and seek help. There's no danger going out to seek help. I'm going to jump a bit. 2018, I had a bad breakup. It was so bad that I had to go and see a counselor. And you have to know, I am the guy where companies hire to motivate their
people.
sales team.
Yes.
And at that time, I have people telling me, Michael, don't do it. If you go seek a counselor, they will have your track record. If any one of your competitors found out you are going to seek counseling, while you are supposed to be the motivational guru who's able to fix yourself and fix anything, your credibility is gone. But at that time, I just felt I needed help. And it really helped, you know. The counselors helped. I survived. I thrived after that bad breakup in 2018. It got really bad, right? And these days, I even tell clients, I have gone through counseling myself. I've gone through...
Would you say you going through counseling, you asking for help,
Yes.
made allowed yourself to be more vulnerable and more powerful?
Yes.
Yes.
Vulnerable because I'm able to be honest with myself.
So
it
what
makes being honest okay. And being more powerful is, you know, as I was going through these counseling sessions, in the 2018 one, talking about relationships, talking about how do we cut ties properly, cut ties from a neuro point of view. Like at that time, my ex, I changed her name in my phone to not have her real name anymore, change her name to another name so that I can immediately cut ties. Because truth be told, I was very invested in that relationship, right? So that helped me. And I thought, hey, these are some of the things I could teach people now in my motivational talks to actually help sales teams to remove themselves from limiting beliefs, from beliefs that no longer serve them, right? And it helps, right? So looking at things in a different way. And again, David, it's known to many. I attend many of your programs. And I still continue to attend it. Your next one with my team would be in January 2026. And sometime when I attend your program, people will say, aren't you Michael Teoh? Yeah. What are you doing here? To learn. Why? I'm like, why not?
I think a lot of people don't realize, like, one of your strengths that made you who you really are today is your willingness to be like an open cup,
Thank you.
an open book, but also, most importantly, is when you're stuck, you're willing to ask for help. So my question is, let's look back at the difference between when you are where you are now, you went through your breakup, all of that, and when you were young, what was the difference where when you were young, you couldn't ask for help, and this time you could ask for help? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who's listening to this or watching this, and then they go like, I'm being bullied, but I feel that I'm alone. I feel that I have no voice. Like, where do I even start?
So I shared earlier, I was bullied since 7 years old, all the way up to I was 15. And a pivotal moment happened. Now, during this time, when I was 7 years old, all the way until I was 15, I was literally an introvert, right? I just wanted friends, and I was not getting it, right? My psychology was messed up. And then I will share this long story in a short version. So I wanted to show to those bullies that I could at least do one sport. Even though I'm bad in sport. What is that one sport that all human beings can do?
Badminton?
No. Badminton, I hit, or I get hit, right? Then the shuttlecock fly into my eyeball come out. Also cannot, right? What is that one sport that any human being can do?
I have no idea.
Running. Just running. You all can run, right? You can run.
No, I cannot run.
No, but slow or fast doesn't matter. You
Yeah,
can run, right?
I ran very slow.
Good, same, yay. All right. So I decided to join sports, running, sprinting. I trained for 2 months. My focus that time was not winning. Impossible I can win. My focus that time was just, I want to prove to the doubters, to the haters, to the bullies, I can at least run lah, right? Train for 2 months, sports day, all ready, going to run. I know I'm going to get last, but I just try. Referee blew the whistle, I ran, 2 steps, I fell. For those of you who are listening right now, man, I've shared this story before. If you could raise up your left hand, and touch your left knee, give a nice massage to your left knee. Imagine that left knee, now grip it, that left knee, grip it. That entire left knee came out after just 2 steps. My ligament was torn, everything was torn. They had to stop the sports day. It was my national school sports day. The ambulance had to come. And then the bullies that time, for some reason, no offense to the scouts. I love them, but they are scouts. They even squat down and say, Michael, run also cannot run. Run also, your knee came out. And I was wheeled to the hospital. That time, I still remember, Bukit Bertajam General Hospital. My mom was in tears. And the doctor who came in said, wow, this is quite serious. Because literally, my knee came out. Right? My knee came out. It burst out of my skin. You could see a little white. So it's your kneecap. Right? The whole thing burst. And the doctor said, Auntie, I don't dare to do anything to your son. Can you send him to private hospital? Then my mom say, we cannot afford. And then the doctor say, oh, like that? Then have to wait for specialists to come. That will be tomorrow. But I was in so much pain. So my mom say, okay, never mind. Somehow we will think of how to gather the money. So my dad gathered money. And then they sent me to Island Hospital. If any Penangites here, you know Island Hospital is the most expensive hospital. Because like a parent, what a parent would do out of love is to give the best for the child. I went to Island Hospital, they fixed me up, and then the doctor, in 3 days' time, I was discharged. But the doctor told my mom, have to take care of Michael already, because his left leg will no longer be as strong as any parts of his body, because my ligament was all torn. And you know, ligament is formed in your mother's womb, you know. Now everything torn, I had to regrow. Thank God when this accident happened, I was 15 years old. Still have chance to regrow, but it will never be as strong. Wow, at that time I was in a cast in school for like a month or 2. And I thought the bullying will stop. I thought finally people will pity me. I'm in a cast, man, walking around with crutches. Yeah, I was studying on the 3rd floor, government school, right? 3rd floor. Yes. Some days you find my crutches on the ground floor in the toilet because the bullies would just take my crutches.
What was that pivotal moment that made you not become a victim and become rise beyond the
People
bullying?
will never pity you
Yes.
when you are failing. There's no one that can help you except you help yourself. And helping yourself here means having the courage to go and ask for help. If you are thinking, oh, please pity me, I'm in a cast, I cannot walk, please give me something, people will not do it.
And that was the moment. So after all of that,
was
you
the
suddenly
moment.
had a moment like, nobody's going to come.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to come and pity me, and I need to do something. If not, life will continues suffering.
You see, I used to go schools to give talks to bully victims. So when I see cases right now with bully cases rising, maybe I'm too old lah. So no one has asked me to go to school to give talks to bully victims anymore. But last time I used to do that. When you are bullied in life, not just in school, but in life, in work, you have 2 options to make. Number 1, you either don't do anything and risk spiraling down. And that's where you get into depression. That's really where you are messed up. For some reason, I'm so grateful to God and the universe. That time, I don't know how I got this inspiration. I could have gone down the slippery slope, but I did not. That time, I asked myself, hey, sports, I'm not good at. I'm not rich. But what is that one thing I can do that my other peers are not doing? Public speaking, drama competition, science and innovation competition, entrepreneurship competition in high school. No one was participating in that. I'm like, maybe I should try. And at that time, I remembered I would go up to the school teacher. I would say, hey, I'd like to volunteer myself. for public speaking. And the teacher was like, come on, you're so quiet. You can give speech in public. I said, I am quiet, but I'm willing to learn. And I was so motivated that time. But David, I can tell you, even though I was so motivated at the time, years later I found out I was motivated by vengeance. I was motivated by retribution. It was not healthy, you know. And my wife today still say, maybe I've developed that workaholic attitude because during that time, it was just work for me.
Because you wanted to prove the bullying wrong.
Correct. And
Now, have you let go of that?
yes, in recent years only.
Yeah. and I think the thing is this. Would you say it's a good drive to get you out of the pit where you were stuck in? Like, because sometimes, like, a lot of people say it's not good to tap into anger or vengeance.
Yeah.
But sometimes anger or vengeance is what's needed so that you can just get out of the pit. So,
To catapult yourself. And you may, like how I did, you may rely on that motivation for a while, but you will come a stage of your life where you will say, time to let go. And I know this was when in the year 2013, our then Prime Minister, Dato Sri Najib, made me a national youth icon. And I was ranked together with Lee Chong Wei, Nicole David, Panda Lela Reno. My name was in all the newspapers. They even did a documentary for me that would air before the TV3 headline news. And one of those bullies saw my news article and they saw my documentary on TV3. And you know how funny is it that time? They were my bullies, but I think Facebook was very heng that time, very famous. So we all just connected with each other. And this was years later and they are in their jobs. And one of them messaged me, whoa, Michael, remember me or not? In my mind, I'm like, of course I remember you. And then they were like, hey, we saw this. Oh my God, you're the national youth icon now. The Prime Minister is asking all young people in Malaysia must be like you. Wow, good to know you as a friend, man. In my mind, I'm like, since when we are friends? You bully me, you alienated me last time. But at that time, I replied them. I can't believe I said this. I said, hey, I appreciate the good wishes. How are you? If there's anything I can assist you, don't be shy. Let me know, man. And that person never replied me. Never. The conversation just stopped, right? So for me, at that time, maybe it was divine intervention. I'll be honest, I did not have any mentors. I didn't have a mentor that come to me and said, hey, do public speaking. Hey, change your life. I guess I was looking for an outlet, and I'm so blessed that the universe and God gave me this sign that, hey, go into public speaking. And I found my passion there. But to go into public speaking, from introvert, you have to train yourself to be an extrovert, right? And that was what happened.
that was your transition.
That was my transition.
So how do you train yourself to be an extrovert? Because I'm sure a lot of people are actually introverts. Even I think I am an introvert.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Because you need time to recharge,
Yes.
right? How do I train myself to be an extrovert? Well, number one, the purpose must be strong. My purpose was I wanted to prove those bullies wrong. I wish I had the maturity to say, no, I just wanted to prove to myself.
That
But
you
no,
could do
I'll be
something.
honest. It was just, I want to prove the bullies wrong. The purpose was strong. It was a catalyst. And I just put myself out there. I'll give you an example, David. In my school, we are what we call a selected premier government school. I mean, we produce 2 prime ministers. You know what does that mean? We have a hierarchy system. If you are a top scorer, you'll go to the first class. We have 11 classes in my form. I was in the 5th class here. I'm not even your smartest guy. But when it comes to public speaking competition, drama competition, innovation, entrepreneurship competition, of course the school teachers will favor people from the first class. They are smart, they score very
Yes.
well. But this is what I did. I would go and line up during recess time. I would quickly buy a packet of nuggets, pour tomato sauce. I would then bring that packet of nuggets and line up in front of the teacher's hall, teacher's room. And a teacher that I would particularly look forward to meet every day, would be the extra co-curricular teacher. So he'll be walking in and he would see me and he would know already. I'll ask, Cikgu, ada apa project? Teacher, what project do we have today? Some days, no project. Some days, I'll say, yeah, there's this competition from Intel. It's about some innovation, creativity competition. And I'll say, teacher, can I have a look? And you know, teachers in Malaysia, they are so burdened with so many work. Have to mark papers, have to prepare lessons in class. Now you ask them to take care of extra co-curricular activity. If you could be there to serve them, first one-stop solution, they will give you the chance. So my teacher will say, no, this is the project. So I would take the project. Oh, team project, very good. I'm not the smartest kid in the room. So what happened? I put myself out there, talk to the teacher. Every time I remember to take a deep breath. Okay, say this. Teacher, got any project today? Get the participation form from him. Go to the first class. And I still remember, go outside the first class, take a deep breath. Knock on the door. Teacher, I have an announcement. This is a competition sponsored by Intel. Can I have 2 minutes, teacher? And the teacher will be, all right, faster. Everyone, there's an Intel competition looking for young engineers.
So you will literally just put yourself in positions where you're forced to speak.
Correct. And guess what? I will say this is a competition for young engineers. I'm looking for 4 team members. Anyone here good in bio, good in physics, good in chemistry, good in science subjects? And you will have takers. People raise up their hand and they'll follow me outside the class. All right, guys. That time, no WhatsApp yet, so I'll write down their phone number. I'm going to contact you later tonight. Let's have a discussion. Tomorrow we meet during recess time. And we'll meet up. And I say, I'll be your team leader. All of you will be my team members. This is the competition. Let's join. And it has worked so well. I've represented Penang State. I've represented Malaysia. And normally in these competitions, I am the presenter. Because those 4 team members, they are the brain. They will come up with the theory, come up with the report. I'm the presenter. And to be a presenter, you need to put yourself out there. And I can tell you that time there was no YouTube and all. I joined public speaking classes in school. I role model people who were already good speakers in school that time. And there we are, right here today. So I am an introvert, guys.
So what's the point of writing this whole book? What do you really want to share with the audience?
I want to share that.
Anybody who's reading the book.
Thank you, David. I want to share with our audience that even if you don't think you have a loud voice, even if you don't think you are the smartest person in the room, even if you don't think you have a title, you can still have a voice. You could still build relationships. You could still leverage on those meaningful relationships to become someone of influence, to get your ideas across, to realize your ideas. This book basically summarizes my strategy of how I built my business through the relationships, through the connections I have.
So let's talk a bit about relationships. You have a lot of influential relationships, right?
I hope so. Thank
Sik
you.
Sadiq, Minister, you're on the board of SV Setia, right? Your left and right shoulders are people of power, people of influence, people want to network. How the hell did you started this whole journey of networking your way up?
There's one particular chapter in my book where I even share secrets. How did I network with every single surviving prime minister in Malaysia? Okay, so we have pictures to even prove that.
Okay,
it's in
so
the book.
Give us like the summarized step by step. Like how do you network upwards? Because we all know. So before even that, I want to ask the question: how important is your network?
Very important.
Would you say people know you is more important, or you know people more important?
Both.
Both.
You need to know people, and people need to know you too. And for people to know you, you need to keep asking yourself, what value can you give first? David, I'm here with you today is because we became friends. And I'm here with you today, you see, when I wanted to attend your program, I did not go down the line like, hey, we are bros, let me go for free lah. No, I'll go there and say, hey bro, how much is this program? I would like to support. That's why I love it, right? When people say, hey, I want to support friend. But when you support friend, it's not go there and say, hey, can give me free stuff. You support friend by really, if you can afford, pay for your friend's effort, right? And that's me. I respect you. You bring a lot of value to me and my team and my company. But we are here because of the relationship I built. And because I'm always thinking, I want to honor you for the value you bring. So I always have that mindset. Always
so a lot of people
value.
always have this take mindset.
First, yes. What can I get from David Chua?
So literally when they want to meet, for example, minister or whatever, it's like, I want the photo first.
Yes.
I want the thing first.
Yes.
So when you meet a minister or somebody who's very influential, like how do you even, like what's your thinking process like?
Great.
So first give value and then what?
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is a little bit technical, but for all of you to learn. When you want to meet CEOs, ministers, or in my case, prime ministers, even President Barack Obama, normally people will say, oh, let's go straight to the source. If I now meet Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, I want to go to an event and network straight with him. Actually, that's wrong. You should actually get to know who are his gatekeepers. His gatekeepers are there actually. Whenever he go to an event, you'll be surprised. I have networked with one particular prime minister because I know his bodyguard. And his bodyguard is his driver. And you know, these are people that when they appear with the ministers or prime minister, they normally don't get any acknowledgement. Sorry lah. Sometimes people treat them as dirt. They're like, who are you? You're just a driver to the prime minister. But did you know? The drivers to the prime ministers know when are they free. Where are they going? Do you know that? These people know the prime minister's diary more than the prime minister know themselves. So you be friends with people like that. Right? And these people are trained special forces. They can sniff you out if I want to be friends with you because I want something. Build meaningful relationship with them first. So my first lesson to share with all of you there, since you mentioned what is that one lesson from that chapter, get to know who are the gatekeepers. And these gatekeepers are normally those people who are not loud. But you would see them surrounding the prime minister. Give you all a hint. Normally, they are the ones carrying the bag of the prime minister. Or they are the ones that you see before the prime minister speaks. They would be giving an A4 paper, which is normally the prime minister's speech. These are the people you should target. It's like when I was in New Zealand for my undergrad years, I joined a lot of business competition. And I was part of this management consulting competition sponsored by Deloitte. And it was interesting, right? I joined 16 competitions of that nature in 2 years. Out of 16 times, I can tell you, I only won 4 times. All right, I lost more than I won. But one thing was interesting. In New Zealand, when I graduated there, the newspaper there gave me a final gift. They published an article saying, Michael Teoh is the most publicized undergraduate student in New Zealand. That was the headline, you know, in their newspaper. Why? I've joined 16 competitions. I only won 4 or 5. But every time in these competitions, even though I lost, I would always go and network with who? The media that will be there. You see, in Western culture, at least from my experience in New Zealand at the time, when the winners win, there's normally champagne. They get drunk. Oh, and the media are all there wanting to interview them, but they are so engrossed in their celebration, party, that they forget about the media. But for me, I would go to the media, I would bring a few cups of orange juice for them, and say, hi everyone, my name is Michael Teoh, I'm from Auckland University of Technology, AUT. Yeah, I'm not the winners, but hey, if you want to hear my experience as a participant, what did I gain from this competition? Happy to speak. 2 outcomes. Number 1, they interview me. Number 2, they say, oh, it's okay. Let's wait and see. For those who say wait and see, this is what I do. I can understand that. Why not this? Can I send you a press release? Oh, then the reporter looked at me. Press release? Yeah, I'll send you a press release. I will still write about the champion. I did. 1 line. I still acknowledge the champion. Maybe University of Auckland won that round. 1 line lah, in an 800-word article. The other 700 words, it's about my experience there. Because I know this psychology. People read that 1 line. Okay, University of Auckland won. Yay, the team won. Mine is Auckland University of Technology. But guess what? People were reading the 700 words that was written about my life. And you know, journalists are so busy, right? So when you send them a press release and you already have that bond with them, that initial bond, they're going to pick it up. And that time we have smartphones. I have this habit. When I meet a reporter, I talk to them, either send a press release or I ask them to interview me. I will always have a selfie with them. Once I take the selfie, I will get their card. I will WhatsApp them. Hey, Michael Teoh, this is a selfie we took. Great to connect with you. For lack of better words, butter them more. Butter them more.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about this. So right now, there are people listening to this and say, this is below me. Okay? They'll go like, I am a CEO, I'm a founder, I'm a speaker, whatever it is. This is below my pay grade. What do you have to say to that?
Then you have a lot of money, hire a good PR firm lah. Help you do the work lah. For me, it's this. Even though today, God bless, I can afford to hire PR, but sometimes there's that fun, there's that thrill to just try to do things yourself. right? And I can tell you, a lot of these PR strategies or skills I actually learned from Tony Fernandez.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
Tell us more, like what do you learn from, how do you met Tony and then how do you guys became?
Wow. So he is one of those entrepreneurs whom I look up to. And I would have this goal, right? I want to meet Tony Fernandez. And at that time, I would track him down. Which conference will he be at? Which university will he be at?
So a lot of people who's listening to this or watching this, they may not realize that what you're doing is very strategic.
It is.
A lot of people think networking is a very random thing.
No, it's not.
From what I'm hearing, it's a very strategic game. It's like chess.
Oh, yes, very much. So like Tony, right, I remembered. And that time, he was still a Datuk Sri, not yet Tan Sri yet. And AirAsia was not that big yet. So that time, it was easier to get his time because he would speak at universities. So at that time, I just came back from New Zealand. I would hunt down which university he'll be speaking at. And then I will go and just appear there. Appearing at university conferences, number one, the entrance ticket is much cheaper. It's not in the thousands. And then I would always make this point. Whenever he finished speaking, I would write down notes, what he has taught us. I would then put on a brave front, just force myself to go to the front of the line and just say, hi, Tony, and catch his attention. I would do this a few times in a few events until one point he would say, I remember you. I've seen you before. You were just in that conference in UUM last month. And I said, Tony, I'm back. Then he's like, wow, this is getting scary. Like I'm stalking him, right? Which I was. But I learned a lot from him. And eventually he gave me a private meeting. He even filmed a personal testimonial that you could still find on YouTube. Sorry for the very low resolution. It was in the mid-2000s that time. But he filmed the testimonial for me. And he said, I've never met someone as positive as Michael. He has spent years trying to meet me, but he's really resilient. Bam! And today, my clients see that video. And they say, man, this is the speaker I want to get, man, to motivate my people, to teach them about resilience, right? So it is a strategy. But a strategy here also, like when you read my book, you'll be able to see how do you move from one stage to the next. I mean, just meeting Tony is fine. But if you do not get to know who are his secretaries, there's also no way in. If you do not have the courage to ask, Tony, can I have your number? In your mind, you'll be thinking, oh no, who am I? Why would he give his number to me? But I always have this belief. If you never ask, your answer will always be no. So why not ask? Even if you get no, that's fine. At least you know it's a no. But what if it's a yes? That can change your life. I've met so many other CEOs because they saw my picture with Tony and they said, wow, if Tony can meet you, I guess we can meet you too. Right? Same with all the ministers and prime ministers. How do I get access to all the Malaysian ministers? I met the number one boss. And then this Malaysian minister's like, wow, you met my big boss. That means you must have something. Okay, give you an audience. Bam. Some ministers, I would have better relationship. Some is just high and by. But it's okay. You find your flow. So I'm a trained extrovert. But in reality, deep inside, I need time to recharge. I am still an introvert.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk a bit about this. So when you have been speaking, you have been networking, how much of your business came from networking? How much of your business comes from, let's say, marketing or branding or sales?
My company, Thriving Talents, we were established in the year 2012. We provide corporate trainings for 30% of the world's Fortune 500s. You name it, Microsoft, HSBC, Shell, they're all our clients around the world. And we work with them across 42 countries. I must say that Thriving Talents, we are very bad in marketing. We are so bad in it, right? We don't have Instagram ads, we don't have Facebook ads. I would even dare say that 80% of our business came purely from networking. It's about me putting myself out there, me volunteering at first to speak at strategic conferences where HR directors will be there. And then just having that thick face after a speech, even though I was the keynote speaker, to come down to the ground, give business cards, do follow up. There is a saying, I believe it's from the same mentor, like both of us, David. Blair Singer tend to say this, the millions is in the follow-up. So I believe in that. I always tell even my sales team, you can make the first interaction with the prospect, but what will really seal the deal is you follow up. I mean, how many times, David?
Do you have a follow-up process?
Oh, yes, we do.
What do you do? Like, a lot of people, like, they meet somebody. Like, we kind of heard a bit. Like, you take a photo, you take a selfie.
Correct.
But walk us through your follow-up process. How do you follow up after a networking event?
The best way is within 24 hours after a networking event, send them a WhatsApp or send them a note. Always try to get your client's phone number. Always try. Clients will say, oh, send it to me via
LinkedIn.
WhatsApp or whatnot, right? Send it to me via email and whatnot. But always try to get their WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the best. You WhatsApp them, send them your selfie picture with them. And then
Why the selfie picture? Just curious.
so they can remember you.
Oh, because most of the time they don't remember you.
Because they meet so many people, right? So when you send them a picture, and when you send them a selfie picture, right, highly unlikely they will delete that picture. You know why? Their face is inside. You're taking a selfie. Okay, technically for all the Gen Zs, they'll say Wi-Fi. Like me taking a Wi-Fi with you, right? It's me and you in the picture. It's highly unlikely they will delete that picture because they are inside, right? So they will remember you. Okay. One more technique I use is when I pass out my business cards, I would always say this, David, great to meet you. Here is my business card. But before I pass you this business card, let me write a well-wish note for you. So I'll just write, Dear David Chua, thank you for inviting me to your inspiring podcast today. Signed, Michael Teoh. In a business card, I'll give it to you. Now, why? Normally, people, when they take business cards, right, they'll flip through once in the year, and they will start chucking business cards away, including my business cards. But what happened is when they see the business card I've given you, let's say you are, when you see it, you're like, oh, Michael Teoh, I haven't contacted for 1 year, but you remembered the business card I gave you contains your name. It reduces the chance of you throwing away my business card that I gave to you because your name is there. We are quite narcissistic as a human being. We just don't want to admit it, right? So these are some of the techniques I've learned from other mentors of mine to help our networks or prospects recall.
Yeah. So that's what happens in 24 hours. So then after that, like what do you do?
Good. So when you send the WhatsApp message to them with the picture and with the business card and all that, you want to recap what are some of the points that you have discussed with them. So you recap the point. Now, two things may happen. Number one, they may have something for you. Immediately, they'll reply within a few days' time. Hi, Michael, good to connect with you. Yeah, hey, I have this project, let's talk. That's maybe 2-3 times out of 10. Majority, 7 to 8 times, the prospect whom you are talking to, the person whom you are networking with, may not have anything for you.
Yeah,
they may just say, thanks, or some just ghost you. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you give up. If they have ghosted you, normally 2 weeks from then, I will send them another message. Hey, just checking in if you have received my message. If they ghost you again, 2 more weeks after that, I cannot ask them anymore. Say, hey, have you received my message? You didn't reply my message 2 times before. I cannot say that anymore. So what I'll do is I will try to find a topic to gauge them. For example, David Chua, you are in the business consulting, personal development scene. If I read somewhere online that says the Malaysian government is going to give incentive for SMEs to hire qualified business consultants to boost their business, to embrace digitalization. I read this article and said, hey, David Chua is in the consulting line. I would screenshot.
So you find something relevant to them, and then you start the topic.
Exactly. I would screenshot that article. I will even put the link and say, hey, David, I understand we have not heard from each other for a month, but hey, just thought about you. This is a business consulting tip or incentive that the government is rolling out. Just thought you would benefit from it. Normally, when I send messages like that, people will reply already. They'll be like, hey, thank you. And you know what will happen from my experience?
They're like, let's catch up.
Let's catch up.
How
Because
you?
they'll feel very, what is that?
Value.
Very, how is that? In Hokkien, we say pai se.
What is
Yeah,
that?
right. Yeah, I'm looking for the word pai
It's
se.
like very...
Segan. In Bahasa, we say segan. It's like, I didn't reply your message for a good 2 months. You still can think of me.
They feel bad about
They feel bad. They feel bad. That's the word. They feel bad. They feel bad, right? So, yeah, that was what happened. So they're like, well, I feel bad. Okay lah, reply this guy lah. Of course, you will still have those that still refuse to reply you. But I always share with my team. Don't give up. Continue the follow-up.
So you also teach your team to actually do this strategy.
Because in my business, 70% of my business are recurring clients. And as you know, David, you are very kind. You mentioned that I open your eyes to the corporate field. And to give all of you a perspective, because I know you're an excellent speaker, you have so many good wisdom to share. And I went up to David Chua. I said, hey, you should speak for corporate clients. Now, why? Because clients now come to me. I am their consultant, I'm their coach, I'm their trainer. How often can they use me? If they use me for every training, let's say 1 year they have 10 training, every day their employees see Michael Teoh. They also Sienna. They are this whole Malaysia, whole world don't have any other trainers. So I work with people like you. I say, hey, David, would you mind speaking to these people? And then I recommend you to my clients. But for my clients to say yes to you, they must have rapport with me. They must have that trust. And that trust is built with them coming back to me. And why do they come back to me? Because I network with them well. I built that relationship with them well. There you go.
So let's talk a bit about your business. Like, Thriving Talents, I remember, and I may be wrong, but just from my research is, you started off doing a lot of those school bullying talks, right? And then it transitioned to, you started to do like motivational speaking for corporates, and that's where Thriving Talent started. But it was a lot of times just the Michael Teoh show.
Yo, yes.
Yes. And then there was a transition right now where it's no longer the Michael Teoh show.
No.
It's an agency where you have a variety of speakers. Now,
That's right.
let's talk a bit about your journey building that. How did you went from giving talks in school bullying to start, and what made you make that leap to start doing corporate training? And then what made you shift? Because a lot of people, this is where they get stuck. They get stuck doing the Michael Teoh show. They're very happy with that.
And that's fine.
And that's fine, but what made you go from performer to business owner?
I like that. Are you a performer or a business owner? Are you working on your business or in your business? All right. So when I started Thriving Talents, we started working with a lot of young employees. We did high school projects, we did university projects, but honestly, they were not paying that well. And we could not charge them that high, right? We were more like a social enterprise. And it was truly the Michael Teoh show, because my team relied on me. If Michael Teoh fall ill, there's no show. That means no income, right? I tell you, David, I started the business in 2012. I did not learn to scale my business until 2020. Can you imagine that? 8 years. It was the Michael Teoh show. But you see, even the Michael Teoh show that time, David, I was laughed at a lot. I was ridiculed a lot. You see, if it's the Michael Teoh show, you don't need a team. You just freelance. You are the worker, you are the boss, you are the driver, you are everything.
Which a lot of speakers are right now.
Yeah. Trainers and speakers and coaches are like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, yeah, David. Can you imagine? You get paid 10 grand for a speech, for a workshop for that day. 10 grand. If you are freelancing, that 10 grand goes straight to your pocket. Work for another 5 days in a month, you get paid 50 grand, that's it. Go on a holiday to Disneyland LA, right? But at that time when I started Thriving Talents, I also have a team of employees. I earn 10 grand, woohoo! But guess what? That 10 grand goes back to my company.
Yes. And then
I cannot pay myself 10 grand.
Yeah.
I have to pay myself a salary much lower than 10 grand because I have to distribute the revenue to my employees, to my company upkeep, right? So life was pretty hard. It was quite challenging for me, despite all the fame I got, right? But I was actually not wealthy. I was quite poor.
Yes.
Right?
Can we talk a bit about that? Like, how poor were you?
My first salary as a trainer and a speaker, I paid myself 2,500 ringgit a month. No joke. This was in 2012 until 2013, 2014.
So what made you have the shift? Like, because you've been doing it for 8 years, right?
Yeah.
And then like you would be the star of everything, but then you distribute. So what made you have the shift to go like, hey, I want to work on the business?
I was frustrated. There were 2 episodes that happened. Number one, I was frustrated in 2019 when I start falling sick. You know, age start catching up to you. And if you do not take care of yourself well, you start falling sick. Us speakers, our most important asset is the throat. Yeah. We get sore throat, we get a flu, we are done, right? And I remembered that time I have to force myself, put myself out there, and I'm falling ill. And my team members at that time, even though I know they have the best intentions, but they're all still young, not that matured, they will come to me, Michael, we need you, Michael, you cannot afford to fall sick, cannot, big client, Got so tired, David. And then 2020, what was the big thing that happened in 2020? COVID. When COVID happened, I was very gung-ho. That time I told my team, don't worry, no one is getting fired, no one's salary is going to get cut. I'm here to take care of you. And that time I had 12 full-time staff, 12. Wow, 12, for a training company, that is already considered quite big. Today I have 26 and we're still hiring. But anyway, that's another story, right? 12 staff, I said, hey, no one's salary is going to get cut. Don't worry, we're going to have virtual meetings every day. We're going to streamline our work. Hey, let's go on. Yes. Guess what? I have staff that were working from home. They were not disciplined. They were missing meetings. And then after that, I think the final nail in the coffin came was our business was so bad during the pandemic. And one of my team members, I don't blame her. I love her. She was a young girl and she just said, Michael, maybe our business is so bad because you're no longer that good. That's why clients no longer hire us. It was tough, right? It was tough. And then I reflected, maybe that's it. And what was worse was I have 12 staff, right? 10 left. They're now in good places, They're recruited by Deloitte, PwC, Top Glove. I'm like, wow, not bad, 10 of them left. I was left with 2 other staff. I did not minus their salary. I gave them all. Why they still leave me? And again, that feeling of being bullied came back, right? And again, come back to networking, building relationships. At that time, I remembered I met up with my investors. I said, I can't do this anymore. For the last 8 years, people have called me naive, stupid, because they said, Michael, if you just work for yourself, if you're just a freelance speaker or trainer, you could have earned so much, right? But you want to build a company and you work so hard by yourself, and now when the company has no income, you have to sell yourself. And look at this, your staff even left you. They didn't even pity you. It's not their fault. It's my failure as a leader. It's my failure as a leader at that time. So I just thought, you know what, screw it. I don't want to do this anymore. Then one of my investors say, hey, don't you know some consultants in Deloitte? Why not talk to him, hire him? I said, what? Hire him? My company already no money. Yeah, might as well go all out. You need help. Hire a consultant to help you. Me, a training company, hiring a consultant, that's like telling my client, actually, I'm such a scam, I don't know what I'm doing. Right? But no. Put my courage out there, hired a consultant from Deloitte. He left his job in Deloitte, came and joined me as my second in command. And he said, Michael, do you trust me? I've analyzed your business after 1 month. Michael, we're going to hire experienced people. I'm going to start poaching from consulting firms, from established companies. They're going to join you. I said, bro, money is running out. You now want me to hire experts. Why? He said, Michael, when you hire experts, they will work on the business with you. The problem is you keep hiring fresh grad last time. They have no idea, just like you. Trust me, hire them. So I started hiring for the first time in history, David, in the year 2020, end of 2020, people who are much older than me. In their 40s, in their 30s. I was in my late 20s that time, right? And I started hiring them, right? Hired them, and I'm like, oh my God, every month, the overheads. David, it made all the difference, man. It made all the difference. October, God bless, God willing, everything goes well. I'm going to Perth this year for a 5 days wrestling holiday. I'm a huge fan of WWE, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. I'll be going there for 5 days. My team say, boss, go ahead. You deserve the holiday. We'll take care of things here. I have 103 trainers and coaches now. And I'll be honest, I only know 20 of them. 80 of them, they are all fielded by my team. I was in a dinner in January this year, and I met someone from Starbucks, Malaysia. And I mentioned my company's name, Thriving Talents. Oh, Thriving Talents, we just had a session with you like 2 months ago last year. Huh? Really? Oh, thank you for the support. I went back, team, we work with Starbucks. Yeah? I don't know. It's in your calendar, boss. Oh. That's the most magical feeling. That's why I love my team so much. They really go all out, and I take care of them. Right?
So let's talk a bit about this. You won HR Employer of the Year award.
Yeah, Best Employer of the Year in Malaysia.
Best Employer in Malaysia. So let's talk a bit about that, okay? So how did you build this culture where it was all young employees,
Yeah.
and then they left you after things got tough, to hiring experts, but then how do you take care of them? Because a lot of people who's listening to this, like your case, like I already know money, I don't have money. Even if I hire experts, people come in asking 5, 6, 7, 10K salary, but they cannot perform. There are also people they ask for the money, but they cannot perform. So what is your hiring process like? Or how do you look for the right people? How do you even keep these people?
How do I look for the right people? I use job advertising websites. I still do. But the most effective hires I've gotten so far is through word of mouth. That means you have a happy employee in your company and they recommend their friends, they recommend their relatives, and then they join my firm. It has worked. Word of mouth. I advertise on job sites, job advertisement sites, and I do 2 levels of interview now. So the first level right now, I would get my generals, I call them my management team, to interview them first. I won't interview the candidate in the first round. You know why? Because I'm a sucker towards positive people. So if the person come first round, they're very positive. They're like me, right? Whoa, very positive, very loud. I tend to fall in love with them. I say, hey, this is my guy. And then my team like, oh, shards. Boss already say his guy. How to hire? How to not hire, right? So now my team tell me, boss, first level we go through first. So my team will grill them first. If they survive the first level, only they go to second level. And that is where I appear, or third level. All right? So I do that.
Every hire must go through you.
Yes. Well, no, depend on business function. Like for finance, for my finance team, normally they don't go through me.
Yeah, it's the bigger, like usually what goes through you? Like
Sales.
the trainers or sales or, okay.
Even trainers, no. Because trainers, we have come up with an SOP. What would an ideal Thriving Talents trainer need to have? What should they behave? What is their style? When you come up with SOP, you have created a system. And when you create a system, it liberates your time. So always invest in that. I love systems today. Which is also one of the reasons why I love your workshops. Because you don't teach fluff. It's all systems. You give us framework. You and Dato' James. Frameworks and systems and all, right? So I love that. I interview sales team. Because for salespeople in Thriving Talents, you need to be somewhat like me. You need to be very passionate about your client. It's not just another client where you just suck money out of them and deliver a training.
How do you find somebody who's passionate about what you do?
Oh, you can tell. But I tell you, it's not easy. You can tell from the interviews, and you ask them questions like, what makes you proud at work? Ask them about their failures, right? And normally when you're hired into Thriving Talents, we will give you a 3 to 6 months probation. And in that probation, we will actually see how you perform. We will also have you shadow a senior in the company. So the senior can also report to me, how has this person been? We also believe in AV testing, experimentation. No offense to clients out there. Here's the secret. There are certain clients, I do send my juniors there. It's a risk. Some clients have shared with me, hey, you send a new person, a young person, right? That's why you lost the deal. It hurts, but it's part of the process. Because
to give them space to experiment.
To give them space to experiment. I want to see how they work with that client, right? Normally, they'll be tagged with a senior, and we will see how it goes, right? So we have a strong experimentation culture. I have an R&D team, David. And this R&D team, I was so surprised yesterday, we just announced. Again, this is not something I'm proud about. Maybe some people say, hey, Michael, this is not so good in terms of leadership. But I'll tell you what happened yesterday. So apparently, my team has developed an AI chatbot that can now role play with our participants in sales, in management in communication. Guess what, David? I didn't even know that. We rolled out, certain clients bought it, and clients told me, hey, your chatbot is quite good. I have to reply, oh, thank you. And then I asked my team, what chatbot? And they're like, oh yeah, we integrate this into this client's program. I didn't know. Oh, but Michael, you only told us your SOP. If we can find technology to be embedded into the client's learning intervention, do it, right? Oh, okay. And they have gotten clearance from my management team.
Okay, so we're back. So let's talk a bit about, okay, so let's recap. So HR, few things is you don't interview the person first.
Yes.
Okay. You always make sure they come word of mouth after they come in.
Yeah.
What you do is you will then make sure your generals interview them. Only then
management.
you,
Correct.
the founder, interviews them.
Yeah.
After that, then there's A/B testing, there's mentoring.
That's right.
And there is also where you guide them on the whole SOP. So that's for the hiring part.
SOP is very important. You must have that. You must be as detailed as possible, down to the point how would, for my case, your salesperson approach a prospect. What must they do?
What
One
to
step
wear.
at a time. Correct.
Well, how to even introduce the
Correct.
scripts, everything.
Correct. And that requires me as their leader to do constant sharing. At least once in every 2 weeks.
So
I will
you
appeal to
as
my
a
sales team.
leader, you always have to share.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about this. A lot of entrepreneurs, they go like,
No.
I don't have time to lead them. I don't have time to share. So they try to outsource leadership. Let's talk a bit more about that. Why is it important for you as a leader to keep sharing? And then what do you even share?
Oh, wow. Number one, because my business, Thriving Talents, we are in the service industry. So technically, we sell ourselves, right? And because I'm a practitioner, I've been a trainer before, I've been a speaker, I still am, but now I double head as the CEO of the company and also the salesperson. I still do sales today, right? And all this experience that I've managed to accumulate over the years, I always ask myself, how do I put it into a system? How do I put it into a framework? Now with ChatGPT, a lot of miracles can happen. I would talk to ChatGPT, I would list out my experience that I want it to encapsulate and produce a framework. Once that framework is done, I'll teach it to my team. Now this framework is based on my experience, both the failures and also the successes. And that is how they begin to emulate. Because when you give your team a framework, it is less fluffy. It becomes more concrete. Because ultimately now my team members would go among each other, did you follow the framework? Did you follow the process? Did you follow the system? Right? So we started doing that and it has been well. In terms of the hiring process as well, is as a leader, we need to be honest with ourselves. We will always have bias to certain personality and whatnot. That's why we have to empower our management team, or I call them generals, my generals, to say, please tell me if I'm appearing as being biased to that candidate so that they can give me a different perspective. That's very important.
So let's talk a bit about this. Why would people want to join your company? Like, one of the things is it's sometimes not even like my benefits are not good. It's just like I put the word out, nobody even wants to apply, which is a lot of what business owners face. So what allows you to attract top talent or good people or experienced people to join your company? What do you think is your company's X factor or marketing? What do you do to get people to even want to apply for Thriving Talents?
Publicity is still key. Putting yourself out there, career fairs. Career fairs are good. You will get a lot of fishes, as I would say. And you may get some quality ones. But if you really want the good ones, David, from my experience, it comes down to networking again. Networking with people and then just finding out what are their needs and let them know you as a person.
So let them know you as a person. So let's talk a bit about this, right?
Sure.
So let's say I need, for example, like you got the Deloitte to help you, right?
Yeah.
Like his salary is 20, 30K.
No, we pay him like 40% of that.
Yeah. So his salary in
Right.
Deloitte is like 2, 3, 10 times of that.
Yeah.
You pay him 30% of that.
Yeah.
What makes good people, experienced people, do that jump?
Number one, whatever I'm going to share next, as raw, as honest it can be, I can tell you it's still a numbers game. There could be people listening to this podcast or watching this podcast right now that say, Michael is a bullshit lah, you bullshit lah. Where got human beings so stupid? But here is my style, and you can ask any of my team member. When I cannot afford something, I will tell them I cannot afford you. But I'll tell you what, I will sell you the vision. I want you in the vision. I want you to believe in the purpose of what we do here in Thriving Talents, our company. Yeah, you hear that a lot. Sell them the purpose, sell them the vision. But there is one more caveat I'll put in. Again, I cannot afford you now. But I promise you, we work on this, we do well. When we can afford you, I'll pay you back whatever I owe you.
And that's how you got him over. Wow.
Yes.
And do you have like a black and white, an agreement, or it's just word of mouth? Like a handshake?
Handshake, man.
Just handshake.
Again,
and they trusted you?
Right? They trusted me.
Wow.
And I think they can see my consistency.
How
in the way how I
important?
do things.
Yeah, and then this is very fascinating. It's like how important it is as a leader to put themselves out there. Because a lot of leaders, they try to hide themselves inside the business.
That's the problem. You see, there are entrepreneurs whom I've spoken to where they're like, interviewing a new recruit, don't have to go down to that level. My HR can do it already. Now again, when I want to say what I'm going to say next, people may say, but Michael, your company is still small. 26 people. Wait until your company grow to 100 or 200, then you don't have time. But I always want to make time. If I cannot speak to my employees one-on-one, my staff one-on-one, I would try to find time to speak to them as a group. So that's why if you notice, my company, we do a lot of team retreats. These retreats are not just playing. They go there, we do our strategic discussion, we hear everybody out. So I believe that's important. For entrepreneurs, for bosses, if you find a talent is really valuable for you, there's no escape. You do need to reach out to them. You do need to make them feel special. Because when you make them feel special, that is when they will stay. When you make them feel valued and they know they are contributing, they will stay. And they would work hard for you. That is my experience.
So that's for the hiring part. So assuming somebody's great, they perform, all of that, what's the culture like? Give us a sneak peek or a preview to the Thriving Talent culture. What benefits do you give them? What things do you do? So we kind of heard a bit, like you do team retreats, you do town halls, but what else?
There is a motto that I follow. When you want to take care of your employees, you must take care of their upline and their downline. So allow me to explain. If you're an employee in Thriving Talents now, if you have a baby less than 12 years old, every year we will give you a startup capital of 2,400 ringgit for you to use that money to buy school shoes for your kids, for you to afford to send your kids to daycare, or even send them to tuition. This is what I mean by taking care of your downline.
For
your
the
kids are your downline. Yeah.
And then there's no policy, there's no like you need to be senior.
No.
Wow.
As long as you have kids.
Okay.
We also want you to take care of your upline. If you have parents above 60 years old, every month we will give you an additional allowance for you to take your parents to go medical checkup, buy supplements for them. If they are not well, take them go clinics, take them go hospital. Take care of upline.
How much is that?
Take care of downline. In a span of around 200 to all the way up to 300, 400 ringgit per month per employee.
Does it add up?
It does.
But but it's worth it
It's
because
worth it.
you see the productivity and all.
I think because they see us as a company, we care. And I always share with them, when you work in Thriving Talents, I pray to God every day that your family is healthy. I do not want you to worry about your family. I want you to focus on your work, because through our work, we can impact and develop, inspire, uplift lives. Let the company, in our smallest way, take care of your upline, your parents, and your downline, your kids. And did you know we also force our employees to take leave? So every employee in the company, we will provide them with a 3,000 ringgit fund every year, where they can use that fund to travel locally in Malaysia. Using that fund, they can book hotel rooms, they can book flights, book train tickets, travel locally, cuti Malaysia. If you want to travel outside of Malaysia, we provide a fund of 2,000 ringgit per year per employee. But of course, why you say, hey, why travel overseas is lower fund compared to local? Because we want them travel local lah. Support local economy. Yes. Right?
Okay.
So that's what we do. And then we know that employees, right? I always share with them, when you work in Thriving Talents, we hope you can see you can build a career here and not just another job. How so? You work in a company in Malaysia, you must contribute EPF or SOCSO, right? We contribute another one, a private retirement scheme. So every employee in my company now, when they retire, they'll have access to 2 retirement funds instead of the mandatory EPF fund.
So tell us more a bit about this. Is it something you set up?
Yeah.
Or how do you set it up?
Banks have it. You just go there and say, hey, I want to inquire private retirement scheme. They would have many schemes for you. It's like unit trust. But
how much you contribute every month?
Oh, it's a certain percentage
of
the
the
employee's salary. Just like how you contribute EPF. So we contribute that. Yeah. So we tell them the company takes care of you. You know, David, I've been sharing a lot of this. Sounds good and dandy. But when I'm in the industry, people look at me. Yeah. Michael, you don't know how to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, because there's a lot of money going out.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like, you make money, meh? Then got people ask me, no wonder until today you're still driving a 15-year-old Honda. La. That's why you can never afford a BMW or a Merc or a Porsche. Number one, for the record, I don't even drive now. I take Grab. My investors has asked me to get a driver, company car, but I calculated, I take Grab enough. I take Grab. I am not so busy yet that I need a driver. But my wife already told me, God bless, God willing, everything goes well. My wife said, when the kids start to go to school, you have to get a driver. Not for you, but for the kids. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. God willing at that time, right? But here's the funny part, David. And it's funny, I was approached by a VC before. It sounds like a joke. I'm going to be honest with all of you here, right? And I know you may think of me very differently. This VC came. I want to invest in Thriving Talents. Okay. So what's your strategy to ensure your staff meets target all the time? I said, yeah, we set SOPs. Then I said, but here's the kicker. I believe in God. I believe in the universe. As long as I continue to take care of my team, my employees, my staff, I take care of my clients, I just be a kind person. Somehow the universe and God will deliver, will bless me. The VC was shocked. He's like, that's not going to fly. When I put you in front of a group of investors, you can't say God. And I told the VC, then we are not for you. Because I really believe in God. I really believe in the universe. When you are kind, it will happen. It's funny, that VC paused. I remember I met him in Klang. He paused for a while. He's like, repeat that again. I say, God.
He was so shocked.
And he's like, he was shocked. He's like, am I attending a church sermon or something? I'm like, I don't know how to explain this.
It's just trust in the universe. Okay, so before we're gonna visit that, but let's continue. So what other benefits things you do? So far you created a private retirement
this
fund.
one really drilling.
You take care of their kids. You take care of their parents. What else? And then what else? And then how do you? I would say what else first. Then how does it all financially make sense?
Somehow by the end of the month I don't know. We can afford it, and their performance will grow. We double our growth. I'm like, wow. I don't know how to explain. No. Why I use God, why I use universe, right? Certain times I'm like, you know what? My client just cancelled on a season of trainings. How to find money? No money. But when I see a homeless person on the street, does it mean because I don't have money, my business not good this month, I don't give you some money. I can't. I go to the beggar, I ask, you got QR code? I don't carry cash, you got QR code. I give you some money, 5 ringgit or what, so you could get a meal. And for some reason, it just... Then suddenly next day, a client that has ghosted us for 3 years and say, hey, we have this project for you, it's worth 800,000. Huh? I don't know, man.
So I think it's very appropriate to visit it now. How important was God or the universe in your whole journey of your life?
I don't think I'm a godly person. I do sin. Any of our brothers watching this, they're like, we know. Right? But I always remind myself how to be kind always. Be kind always. If can help, help. Right? So I do that a lot. Help my team. And the culture we created, right? And they work from home, by the way. We only go to office twice in a month. And our office
Twice in a month?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a mandatory meeting. And we only go office twice a month. Mandatory meeting. My staff can go to our office. It's a Teoh Wat Puchong. 24/7. It's open 24/7. They have a key card to go in anytime. And they do go back to office, but mandatory, they have to meet me twice in a month only. Even I work from home. But I think when you create this culture where they know, hey, Michael is so kind to us. He's given us so much. He takes care of our family and all that, right? They feel wrong. They feel wrong if they don't deliver. I do have staff who are assholes, sorry to say that. They take advantage. But I think when you have such a strong culture, those who take advantage, right, they will be sniffed out by the high performer. And the high performer will somehow force them out of the company one. Because it's keeping each other accountable. The high performer say, hey, come on, man. Michael do so much for us. The management team does so much for us. Come on. What? You still want to take advantage? Either coming appraisal time, their score is so shit, is so low, and they just manage themselves out. Yeah, that has happened. So to your question, God and the universe is so important. I don't go to temple, I don't go to church or what every day, but I do pray in my own way. Maybe that's the introversion, right? I do have my own time. And I always say, I want to do good. I want to keep doing good. Right? And yeah.
When was there in your life where you felt there was no hope? And because you prayed, a miracle happened for you. What was that moment?
I would like to say it was the time when I got bullied. The story I'm going to share next pales in comparison towards other people out there who really feel that they have no more hope. People who are diagnosed with a terminal illness, my prayers go out to all of them. They will get better. That's what I believe in. I think for me, the closest would be my relationship failing in 2018. That was very bad. I went on for 2 weeks just drinking mineral water to survive. I couldn't even eat a loaf of bread because I was so sad. I don't dare to use the word depressed. Depressed is another level altogether. I was so sad. And I thought there was no hope. Can you imagine? 2018, relationship not doing well, business.
It affected the business?
Of course, because I am the performer, right? And the performer got affected. And it was a hard breakup, right? That really affected me. And I can tell you, during that time, I just prayed. But even I prayed, right, I noticed this. I noticed some people, they like to pray and don't do anything. Oh, I prayed. But I tell myself, after that 1 to 2 months of just being so sad and sorry about myself, I decided going out on dates. I'll make a confession here. It was quite tiring. Every time when after training, you go out on dates, you're like, hey, could I match with this person? Could I be ideal with this person? And then you're like, no. It's so tiring. But keep on keep praying, and keep being proactive, right? I ask friends, hey, do you know anyone you can introduce to me? You see, David, if you notice my pattern, I am always very proactive. David, you have been very kind earlier, and this was off screen, right? I'll be attending your programs, and you even asked me, like, oh, but your business, your positioning is now well. Why? And I remember reverting back to you. Why not? I want to learn new things. Oh, maybe you may say, oh, but these things you already know. So, different perspective. Why not? I'm constantly learning. It's just that now I'm so grateful to God and the universe that my company, I'm able to afford to bring my team. So I'm bringing my management team to attend your program because I want them to be able to see different perspective, right? So I believe that's my strength. When people interview me before, they say, Michael, what's your strength? I say my strength is I am okay being vulnerable and I am not afraid to ask for help, despite whatever accolades I've had. Right? Can you imagine? 2020, January was also the year I was recognized as Malaysia's Young Entrepreneur of the Year by The Star, Outstanding Business Award, SOBA, for companies valued up to 25 million. Malaysia Young Entrepreneur of the Year, based on 2019 results. January 2020, they announced I was the best young entrepreneur in Malaysia. Woohoo!
But your whole life was a mess.
Can I be honest? 2020. In 2021, I found out our audited report. You know how much was my net profit for 2020? My investors that time joke. They know I like to eat Nandos. So any of you want to capture my heart, belanja me Nandos. All right? My investors say, wow, this is our net profit after tax. Cannot even afford to buy a Nandos meal for the three of us. I have two investors plus me three, right? My net profit was only 132 ringgit. Hey, bro. 4 months ago, I was on stage. Minister gave me award by The Star, not some Chakai award, by The Star, Malaysia's Best Young Entrepreneur of the Year for companies valued up to 25 million. Few months later, I lost 10 of my staff. I have to hire someone, a consultant to come in to fix my company. And then in January 2021, my net profit 132 ringgit. January 2022, my net profit. 2021 was still the COVID year, so 2022, right? I was so shocked. The net profit of that year, 2021, reported in 2022, is the highest net profit we have ever had.
Could you give us a number?
Since Thriving Talent started.
Could you give us a number?
That one a bit sensitive.
Okay, give us a range. Like 5 to 10, 10 to 15.
You mean percent or what?
Million.
X lah.
Yeah.
Okay lah.
We ask the hard questions on this podcast. So.
I think we grew 5 to 6x. It's in the millions already. It's in the millions. Yeah. So we were like, oh, what?
So I want to ask you this. You mentioned a lot about spiritual and then trusting the universe. How important it is to find the right partner?
So important.
I think one of the things you didn't allude too much, but you did mention is you had the wrong partner and that it kind of affected you mentally. So what did you learn? And what was different with your current partner? How did you find her? What was different? And how did it change you as a person?
This is lovely. No one has ever asked this before. This is actually the hardest podcast I've been so far. But you are a good bro. All right. Number one, let me address an issue here. My previous partner or the partners who I've had in the past, sound like I'm a playboy, partners. They were not bad.
Yeah, I think everybody you meet, they're there to serve a lesson, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, to grow you to become the person that you are now.
Yes.
So don't worry about the past.
I remember David, my ex,
yes,
the one who caused me so much misery in 2018 at that time when I was still digesting and processing it. She told me this lesson. She said, Michael, And this was her parting words with me when we broke up. She said, Michael, your life is like a LRT. As you journey through life, you will have different stops. You will stop at a certain place where different people will come into your life. Some people will journey with you for the rest of your life. They will accompany you in your LRT ride, your train ride. But some people, when their time is up, they will have to go. They will have to, in LRT station term, alight from the train. And she told me, that's where we are now here. I will have to alight from your train. I was like, okay, sure, right? So what happened was, I would say she was not evil, she was not wrong. I think she just grew up of the relationship. And for me, it was a lesson for me. I was not the best boyfriend. Even now today, I'm so grateful I'm married. I wouldn't even say I'm the best husband. Still learning, right? But I think number one is, when you are faced with any obstacle, be it relationship or work, when the rejection or the obstacle or the challenges first hit you, you're going to feel shit. And you're going to feel like, oh, why is this happening? Oh. But at that time, and we learned this as well, when emotions are high, your intelligence is low, right? So when you're emotional, and I know it's so easy for me to say this, right? But try to calm down. Just give yourself time to process it. Introvert, again. Process it. And then just ask yourself, what is that lesson you can learn? Again, David, honestly, easier said than done. Easier said than done. Even I have to practice that even until today, right? So it's about asking ourselves not how evil that person has been to us, that partner who did not work out, but rather to ask ourselves what lesson we can learn about ourselves, about them.
So what lessons did you learn from that? Or maybe not so much about the relationship, but what lessons did you learn about yourself that made you conscious to the type of partner that you choose moving forward?
I'm a trained extrovert. I use extroversion as a way to cope with my bully at that time. So I have been trained to speak up. Yet when it came to me and my partners in the past, I am very shy to speak up to them. I'm afraid I may hurt their feelings. Yeah. So I'm afraid I may hurt their feelings. I'm afraid that I may offend them. And it took a toll. I think...
So it felt like you didn't have
I wasn't
place
authentic
to express.
I wasn't authentic.
Did you ever feel like every time you dated or you were in a relationship, it felt like there were two people? There's the Michael on stage and the Michael at home.
Did you know, if you all follow me on my Instagram,
yes,
you will notice that I like to take pictures with Ultraman.
Ultraman, WWE,
WWE,
you like to collect those little
Lego
toys,
Legos, all that, right? And it was funny, David Chua, because you know the famous Instagrammer Kuchester, when he came and visit my house, I had nothing to show. And I still remember that time I told him, hey, I have no Porsche, no Lambo, you know. My house is just a terrace house, you know. And then he came in, he was like, no, I have a huge Lego collection. We will just profile your Lego collection. And I apologized to Kuchester. I'm so sorry if my video don't do well on your page. And we got 800,000 views. And I asked around, I'm not driving a Lambo, I'm not living in a castle or a mansion. Why? And Kuchester told me, Michael, have you ever thought, because you are so normal, despite your credentials, but you are still so normal. You collect Legos, you line up with your kids to take picture with Ultraman. Ultraman is literally a man in a rubber costume, okay? You humanize achievers. Because some people are thinking, wow, you are an Olympian, you are untouchable, you are godlike. But what Kuchester told me was, Michael, you humanized it. So I believe what I've learned from failed relationship in the past, to be more human with myself. If I don't like something now, I will just tell my wife, I don't like something. I'll tell you here, for all of you as well. Last year, I did something that I'm so grateful for. I actually went for marriage counseling with my wife. We were not in a rocky place, thank God. But I knew there was something not right. We have 2 beautiful kids. They are all still young. And I just put myself out there. I said, dear, let's go for marriage counseling. And my wife was surprised. Why? Do we have a problem? I said, but my belief is we don't have to have a problem to go seek for different perspective. So we went. And it was so interesting, you see. So I'm grateful that my wife and my family entrust me to take care of certain family expenditures. But at times, there are certain expenses in the family that I felt, oi, why need to spend on this? This one, why need to buy? Ayo. And I don't dare to talk to my wife about it. You know why? Because I'm the man of the house. Go talk to my wife.
And they have everything figured out.
Why you buy this? Hey, this one, wow. Where is my dignity as the man, as the provider of the family? That was that pride. But it came to a point, I'm like, I was psychoing myself. Why do we buy this? Why this? Why this? And I realized the way how I have been talking to my wife has started to change. And I knew that was not right. I love her so, so much. So I said, let's go for marriage counseling. Met a very good counselor. He brought us through a process, which is interesting, David. I now use that process on my clients. Can also be used for business, right? Ask them to go deep. Ask them to tell me more, right? And this is what I found out. So I use that space. I share with my counselor and my wife. It's a couple counseling. Both of us are there. Very brave. I love my wife, Chloe. So brave for her. And then the counselor forced me to share why this insecurity. I said, I'm the man of the house. My wife, I entrust her to decide what to buy for the family, but I have this insecurity because at times my financials are not good. But she buys all these things for the family. It's for the family, but I don't know how, right? I don't know how to talk to her. And then the counselor asked my wife, would you have a problem if Michael come up transparent with you and say, hey dear, this month, can you stop subscribing to this? I don't think we need it, but I want to hear from you. Why do you think we need it? And my wife just looked blank and like, I'm okay. Then she looked at me. You know, when we got married, I told you, right? You can share anything with me. And then the counselor looked at me. So you are the one effing yourself up in the mind. Because you are thinking, oh, I must have this pride. I'm a man. I must provide. I cannot ask any question about the family's expenses. Yet I am suffering. And then made a huge change. Second perspective, to all of you with wives out there. So maybe because I'm such a trained extrovert, despite being an introvert, every time when I come back from work, and my wife works in the bank as well, right? So when we come back from work, we go on the bed. I cannot stand silence. Again, trained extrovert, right? So I always want to have a topic to talk to my wife. How is your day, dear? And my wife will sometimes, okay lah, nothing new, And I'll feel very little about myself. I'm like, why am I not talking to her? Why is she not responding? Oh no, oh no, oh no. And I will try to force a topic out of her. Not good as networking. I don't do that. Never force a topic. Go with the flow. So I will try to create things out of thin air to talk to her. And she doesn't respond the way how I like. Oh, I will feel very geram, very like,
very frustrated.
What's wrong with you? Frustrated.
Yeah.
And that strained our relationship. Until I went to the counseling. The counselor asked my wife, why you don't want to talk to your husband sometime? And my wife is a pure introvert. She's like, I just don't want to talk. I've had a long day. Then she looked at me, I look at her. Oh. Then she said, I sometimes hear you talk also tired. You are tired. So why not we don't talk sometimes? We can watch Netflix together. We can do things. We don't have to talk. Oh, so now I know. When my wife come back, how is your day, dear? I know already. Must be a challenging day for her. It's okay. I'll keep my distance. I'll say, dear.
How would you? So what are the traits that? Because you dated her and then you got married within a year plus, right?
Yeah.
So how do you know that? Okay, this is the person I want to bet my life on. What were the green flags?
She's so supportive of everything I do. She would always take a back seat when she's in public events with me. She will not steal the spotlight. She knows I'm the man of the house, I'm her husband. Or that time even we were just dating, her boyfriend. She respected that boundary. She's just there. Morally, emotionally.
Which then leads us to the
Physically,
question, like for entrepreneurs, like do you believe dating the opposite works or dating somebody like you works better?
My ex was like me.
Mm.
There are some couple whom I've met. It's so subjective, David, because some couple I've met, it works. It did not work for me. My wife is opposite of me. She's quiet, very composed. I get freaked out. I get frustrated on certain things because I'm such a go-getter, right? My wife is the type of lady where she would follow her boss. So she has changed job 3 times. There's one common denominator. She follows the boss. A headhunter would come to her, hey, I offer you 5 times the salary. She said, I follow my boss. Some people may say, oh, but your wife seems like she doesn't have ambition. No, her ambition is elsewhere. Taking care of the family, taking care of her mental health. Let me have the ambition of growing the family, building the business, providing for them. And that's how much I love about her. And I think one of the things as well, I'm not a relationship expert, but as you go through different stages of your relationship, you have to know that there will be stages where you would evolve into. Like, truth be told now, I won't see my wife doing things like poking my tummy like, I love you, I love you. Come on, we are parents of 2 people now, right? I still do that to her, but sometimes she's like, hey, come on, the kids are around, come on, right? And I think our love also evolve. So I would say, yeah.
Which then leads me to the last few questions that I want to ask you. First is, how has kids changed the way you do your business? Or do you like work less in the business? Do you work more in the business? Or do you have a different approach because the kids came into your life?
Previously, I love to stay in hotels whenever I am booked for speaking engagements or training, even if it's just in Klang Valley in KL. I just love to stay in hotels. I've stayed in most 5-star hotels in KL. The session is tomorrow morning. I will always say, hey, I want to stay the night before so I can feel fresh tomorrow, so I don't have to fight the KL traffic to get to a location central to KL. But today I find myself, even if the training ends by 5 p.m., and tomorrow I have another training at a different hotel for a different client at 9 a.m., I would always go back. Even if I can see my kids for that 1 or 2 hours, it's lovely, man, David. Nothing can replace that feeling. Seeing them,
Do they get on your nerves sometimes?
they do.
They do.
They do, yeah. They do. And my daughter is like me, you know.
Yeah.
It's like very...
I think the better question I want to ask is, do you think like having a family is it a burden, like in your entrepreneur journey, or is it actually the drive that pushes you forward?
I believe it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a way for me to calm myself during a day when you get rejections, you lose a deal. When you go back, you see your children, gives you that happiness, I would say. I know a lot of people tend to say, oh, I'm motivated because of my family, I'm driven because of my family. That's true, but I believe my family has given me, and will continue to give me so much more with the happiness that they shower to me. My parents live with me. They are such a blessing. They take care of my kids. Because my wife and I, we work full-time, right? They take care of my kids. Just so grateful. Yeah.
So, which then leads me to ponder this question.
Sure.
What do companies have to offer the young generation workforce right now? So you hear a lot of complaints like millennials, Gen Z, whatever it is, too lazy, they don't have drive, they like to lie flat. Like, So why do these people go to work, and what, as us business owners or companies, we can offer them?
Number one, let's not generalize. Not all Gen Zs are lazy. Not all Gen Zs like to lie flat on their beds. I have hired certain Gen Zs, millennials, even Gen X. They are lazy, so I just fire their ass. I'll be honest, right? So I think there's that saying, right? When you want to hire people, you hire slowly, but when you fire people, make sure you have the processes to fire them fast, because they are a burden to your company. I know I've come across in this sharing as someone very empathetic. Now suddenly I say fire them fast. I do, because they are not worth your time. But I would give chances to people, 3 chances. I would say, hey, let's work something out. There has to be a reason why you're not performing. Let me find another work for you. Let me find another angle for you at work. But after 3 strikes, you are out of Michael Teoh's life, of Michael Teoh's company, of Thriving Talents. They're out of that. So I would say, number one, let's not generalize. Not all Gen Zs are lazy. Number 2, what really motivates the Gen Z to wake up and to work hard, to work effectively for you? Constant engagement is important. You know, my team members remember that I would go to them and ask, what's your dream? And I remember one of them say, oh, my dream is to go to Taiwan. And I'll share with them this. I'll tell you what, you hit your target, I will request a special budget from finance so you can go Taiwan. Or with that, we call it leave passage that has been provided for you, the holiday incentive. Go to Taiwan, but you hit your target. So I have constant engagement with my staff, my employees, to understand what they want. And in my mind, I'm always thinking, as their leader, how can I match what they want? So that's what I do.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you, who do you think is the biggest role model for you in your life?
For my life, it'll be my parents. My parents, as I mentioned, we are in a middle income family before. And I'll tell you, they ran a tuition center. Maybe that's why I'm running a training company now, because I grew up in a tuition center. But my late grandfather and my father believe that education can change lives. So can you imagine, David, in the 1990s, how much would you pay for a 1-month tuition class, 4 sessions in a month? How much? Like a subject, how much?
I have not, like
100 bucks, 100 ringgit or so?
10 ringgit? It was the 1990s, so probably 10 ringgit.
My parents charged 5 ringgit. The most they charged was 7 ringgit per subject. So if you take SPM, you have 10 subjects, you only pay 70 ringgit a month, right? And as you can imagine, because the fees were so low, we attracted a lot of the low-income families, policemen, postmen, nurses from government hospitals. They'll send their kids to us. And because of that, the high-income families will never come to my parents' tuition center because they do not want their kids to hang out with the poor. But my dad and my mom, they persevered. And my late grandfather, they said, the rich have all they need to help themselves out of a tough life. It is the poor that cannot. So we need to help them. And my dad and my mom, they are not qualified teachers. So what happened is they have a tuition center in a 3-story shop lot. And then they hire teachers. Some of our teachers are very kind, God bless. Some of them, they are more calculative. I don't blame them. They have their own livelihood and their own family. They demand for high pay. And my parents pay them. So maybe my parents only take back 20% out of the 100% pie. And that was how me and my younger brother grew up in a tuition center, right? And we have always been brought up to, if you can help people, help, right? So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's one last piece of advice for anybody listening? What will you give them for their business or in their life, or when it comes to the teams or their family?
I'd like to recall that conversation I had with the VC, right? And he asked me questions like what you did, how do you manage your staff, motivate them all, and I He's a VC. He's not a bro. He's not like you to me, right? So I gave him half PR answer, but I cannot escape my nature. So I told him what I told him. I said, be kind to people. And he just couldn't accept it. He's like, no, you must have matrix. What is your matrix? I'm pretty sure the investors want to see how you appraise them. I say, I have all that. But ultimately, I want my team to be kind to people. I always remind myself to be kind to people. And I always remind myself, the more I earn, the more I want to give. And that's what I do, right? So my one advice is this lah, be resourceful. And when you make it, never forget to be kind to the world, right? And people always say, what you give comes back to you. I don't agree with that. I think what you give, you should not expect whether it comes back or not. I know it may contradict with some people. We are buying your book so we can build powerful relationships to get something back. But I think the world needs authentic people. When you build relationships, you build powerful relationships. But how can it become a powerful relationship? It's when you build meaningful relationships. It's when you give value, right? There are going to be some nasties out there that's going to take advantage of you. Have been taken advantage so many times, including today. But that doesn't mean that will stop you from being kind to people. Yeah.
Last question will be, how is this podcast different so far from?
Well, number one, you make me cry. Yeah. First ever podcast that I teared. Need to control myself.
Do you think we asked a tough question?
Tough question, and also because you are like a brother to me.
Yeah.
So when I walked in and when you invited me for this podcast and you wanted to talk about my book, I already told myself, I want to give. Honest is not the right word. It does not mean all the previous podcasts I did, I was dishonest. I was honest, but it's about going so deep. And I think also you are a good podcaster lah. You know how to ask the question and stir up certain
emotions.
things.
So, everybody listening and watching this, I want to thank our guest, Michael Teoh. He has a brand new book called I Am an Introvert coming out in bookstores near you. Please go check it out or go to their website, thrivingtalents.com, and then they'll probably have a link somewhere. Yeah. Other than that, thank you so much for being a guest on the Business Buddha podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you. All right.